These are 10 fire pairs of sneakers that you can grab right now for under retail. So I've been doing this video every month for the last couple months, and I keep thinking this is gonna be the last one because there's no way that I can find 10 more pairs of sneakers for under retail. And it's wild because usually I find way more than 10 pairs of sneakers that released recently for under retail. And today's video is absolutely no different. We've got 10 more pairs of sneakers that are under retail and a couple honorable mentions which are either right around retail or are just above retail, but they haven't even released yet. And of course, if you want to grab any of the shoes mentioned in today's video, I've made sure to link them all through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen right there. Also, if you missed out on the other top 10 below retail videos, these lists don't overlap in any of the videos. It's all new sneakers in every single video, and all the deals are still available. So if you missed out on those videos, I've made sure to link them at the end of this video and also in the description below. So let's start things off with the honorable mentions, and the first pair that I'm going to talk about is a pair that hasn't even released yet. The Air Jordan 1 Low Mocha. So at the time of recording this video, and probably at the time this video comes out, this pair has not yet dropped. I believe it drops on September 21st for a retail price of $140. Now the reason this shoe is an honorable mention and not like #1 on the list, because in my head this is one of the best sneaker releases of the year, this shoe is selling for just above retail and it hasn't even dropped yet. In fact, right now on StockX, you can grab a pair in a size 9.5 for $150. This shoe retails for $140. That's $10 over retail before it even drops. That's wild. Obviously, if you buy these through a resale site like StockX, you're gonna have to pay fees and shipping, but that's still kind of the case if you buy these at like Finish Line online. You're gonna have to pay shipping and tax, so the price is not gonna be that different. And I'm not gonna do a full review of this shoe, but I have dropped a YouTube short on this sneaker, and I've gotta say, it's just such a clean pair of shoes. It's so easy to wear, and I get there's not a lot of Jordan 1 hype right now, but this shoe is just so clean, and in my opinion, it's actually easier to wear than the $600 pair of Air Jordan 1 High Mochas. And I mean, it's basically the same exact shoe with a top cut off, and if you wear a long pair of pants, you're not even gonna notice the difference. And seriously, it's a fire pair of sneakers, probably my favorite or one of my favorite pairs of sneakers on this list. And again, if you guys want to check it out, you can check it out through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. Now with that being said, obviously certain sizes are gonna be more expensive than others, the rarer sizes and probably the bigger sizes. I think the highest price that I saw was like a size 14 for $200, but again, the shoe hasn't even released yet. So I'm expecting the prices to drop. I don't know how significantly after the shoe actually drops, and it's possible I might feature this shoe again on next month's video once it has released if it goes for under retail. We'll see what happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if you can grab this shoe for basically retail after release, if not less. But yeah, right now you can grab this shoe for like $150 and it hasn't even dropped yet. That's wild. The next honorable mention is the Nike Air Force 1 Travis Scott Utopia. Now, I don't actually have this shoe in my collection. I have a standard pair of Air Force 1s, but from what I can tell, it's basically the exact same thing except with Utopia written on the side. And for some reason, that Utopia branding made the retail price of this shoe $150. Which is wild to me. I mean, I guess that's happened before with Travis Scott sneakers where it's like a slight change and the shoe is worth way more because of it. But regardless, in a couple sizes, you can actually grab this shoe for like $120 on StockX. For example, the size 9, size 9.5, size 8, size 12. A bunch of these sizes are going for under retail online. It's crazy. Now, of course, there are other sizes going for above retail, like an 11.5 and a 12.5, but for most sizes, you can grab this shoe for either retail or below. With that being said, the real question is, do you want to spend an extra $40 on a pair of sneakers that says Utopia on the side versus a standard pair of Air Force 1s, which you can grab for like $110 or $115, but that's a question you gotta answer for yourself. Next up, we've got the New Balance 1906R Action Bronson Medusa Azul. Now, like the other shoes we've talked about, the reason this shoe is an honorable mention is because some sizes are under retail and some sizes are kind of hovering around retail, so it's not like a truly all under retail pair of sneakers, but for a pair of sneakers that at one point was going for like $300 to $350, being able to grab this shoe for $175, which is $10 under the $185 retail price, is pretty amazing. Plus, the 1906Rs are one of the best pairs of New Balances out there right now, and if you like this blue and sort of orangey yellow colorway, this is a great way to go. Personally, I prefer the rosewater colorway, but as you can see from my shirt and my hat, beggars can't be choosers. The final honorable mention is the Air Jordan 3 A Ma Maniere While You Were Sleeping. If you had told me 2 years ago that A Ma Maniere was going to release a black version of one of the most popular sneaker collaborations of all time, and you could find it at the Nike outlet, which is where I found this exact pair, I would have told you, you're insane. But that's exactly what's happening. These pairs are pretty widely available at the Nike outlet. Now, obviously at the Nike outlet, they are full retail because most pairs are returns, but still, you can find them at the Nike outlet. Now, the reason this shoe is once again an honorable mention like it was last month and is not actually on the list itself is because the retail price of this shoe is kind of weird. So when this shoe first released through A Ma Maniere, it retailed $250. However, when it re-released through Nike, they dropped the price to $225. So I'm not sure exactly what the real retail price of this shoe is. Is it $250? Is it $225? I don't really know. That said, you can grab this shoe right now on places like StockX for anywhere between $210 to $230 depending on your size. And oddly enough, the bigger sizes are the ones that are cheaper. The size 12 men's are going for $215 and the size 9.5 men's are going for like $229. Usually it's the other way around. Usually the larger sizes are more expensive and the smaller sizes are cheaper, but in this case, if you have bigger feet, better for you. I genuinely can't believe that this shoe is going for as low as it is. It's an incredible pair of sneakers. I think it's a great pair to add to your collection, especially for the price, and possibly in the future the price may go up. I wouldn't say go out and spend thousands of dollars on pairs to sit on, but I would say if you want to grab a pair and you've been thinking about it, now is probably the time. And you can't find this shoe through regular retail sites like Nike or Alma Maniere. It's sold out on those sites. You can only find it on resale sites for under retail. So I don't know, maybe check your size, see if you think the price is worth it, and then pull the trigger if you want it. I think it's worth it. I think it's an incredible pair of shoes, and I would absolutely recommend picking it up. And again, not to beat a dead horse, but I tried to make it easy for you. If you want to check it out, there are links right there through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen to find a pair in your size for a good price. But now let's dive into the actual top 10 list. And at number 10, we've got the Air Jordan 1 Low University Red. So I've seen this shoe sitting at the outlet for almost a year at this point. It first retailed for $140 and now you can get it at the outlet for like $99 or maybe even less. But online, you can find this pair, at least in my size, for $63 for a white and red pair of Jordan 1s. Like, I get that it's not the most popular Air Jordan 1 colorway, but that price is crazy. That's the price of a pair of Vans for a pair of Air Jordan 1 Lows, and not the ones that you see at every Foot Locker with the different tags. This is one with the Wings logo, with the Nike Air on the tongue. This is like an OG Air Jordan 1 Low. And actually I went through all of the sizes on StockX, and the only pair that wasn't in the $60 to $65 range was a size 14, and that was $75, which is still basically half retail. If you don't have a pair of Jordan 1 Lows and you've been thinking about grabbing a pair, or maybe you wanted to grab this shoe and were just waiting for the price to drop, now is the time. I don't think it's getting much cheaper than this. If it does, well, that'd be crazy. I'd be really surprised. Number 9, the Air Jordan 6 Reverse Oreo. So I actually bought this shoe at Foot Locker for full retail, which was $200. And right now on StockX, you can grab a pair in my size for $137. That is a $63 discount for, in my opinion, a pair of Air Jordan 6s that look absolutely incredible. You've got a white leather upper, you've got a black midsole with white splatter print, you've got a black tongue, you've got a black heel accent. It's fire, it's clean, and it's incredibly wearable. In fact, I might wear this Reverse Oreo colorway over some of the OG Air Jordan 6 colorways. I know that's crazy to say, but seriously, I'd wear this over like the infrared 6s, which, seriously, don't hate me, but I don't know, I like this shoe better. Is it anything crazy? No, not at all. That's probably why it's going for so much under retail, but it is genuinely a super easy to rock, super clean pair of Air Jordan 6s, and for that price, it's hard not to pick up. Number 8, the Nike Air Foamposite 1 in royal blue. Foamposites have been making a bit of a comeback over the last couple years. They're not as popular as they once were, like in the early 2010s and late 2000s, but they are still somewhat popular. And over the last year or so, we've been getting some really great Foamposite colorways, some of the OGs, like the royal ones. And weirdly enough, even though this is a 20-year-old sneaker, the Foamposite still kind of looks modern and futuristic because of its wild and interesting molded foam upper. This OG Foamposite colorway comes in metallic blue and retailed for $240, and it literally just released. At the time of filming this video, it was 5 days ago. It released on the 13th, and now it's the 18th. But even though this shoe just released, you can buy pairs of it right now online for like $205. That's $35 under retail, and honestly, probably the price it should have been when it first released. I feel like $240 is too much for a pair of sneakers. So if you've been nostalgic for the Foamposite or want to try it out because it is a pretty wild sneaker, you can grab this shoe right now for well under retail in a really great colorway. Number 7, the Air Jordan 4 RM in black light bone. The Air Jordan 4 RM, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated sneakers that have released this year. It's actually a really great shoe. Now, to be fair, certain colorways actually go for above retail, like the Nigel Sylvester green pair and the black pair, but the standard colorways, the non-collab colorways, all tend to go for well under what it originally sold for. If you don't know what the shoe is, essentially it's a skateboarding / BMX version of the Air Jordan 4. It's newly released for 2024, and it features a completely redesigned upper. The midsole and outsole tooling of the shoe is exactly the same as it is in a standard pair of 4s, at least from what I can tell, but the upper has been completely updated to make it a mid-top, or I guess a low top. It features more padding, it features a TPU panel that wraps all the way around the back of the shoe, and it actually looks pretty futuristic. Interestingly enough, it retails for less than a standard pair of Air Jordan 4s. Rather than being $200, it retails for $150. I actually did a full review on the sneaker in this exact colorway, and if you guys want to check that video out, there will be a link at the top of the screen. Now, obviously, because there isn't a lot of hype behind the non-collab colorways, you can expect this shoe to go for under retail, but in my opinion, the amount that it's going for under retail is crazy. Right now, you can grab a size 9, which is my size, for $98 on StockX. That's $52 less than retail, and under $100 for a pair of Air Jordan 4s. And this is not the only colorway that's like that. It's probably the cheapest colorway because there's the most pairs of this colorway, but you can grab other colorways that have released recently or will release for under retail right now. Now, I am actually kind of interested in what the Nigel Sylvester colorways are going for because I think they're going for more but less. The Nigel Sylvester Grandma's Driveway colorway, the gray one, is going for $163 in a size 9 right now, which is $13 over retail. There are some sizes like a size 7, 7.5 that are going for under retail. Yeah, I mean, if you want to grab the special colorways, you can grab them too for under retail. The only one that's more expensive significantly than retail is the green one. That one's going for like $350, $400 depending on your size. Actually, in some sizes, going for like $700, which is insane, especially because there's a green one that's not a Nigel Sylvester that's going for under retail. But you know, if you want to grab the hype one, you can. That's crazy. I can't believe they're going for that cheap. I knew the collab colorways would probably sit around retail and go for significantly less than the collab colorways, but I never expected it to be under $100. That's crazy. Number 6, the Nike KD4 Nerf. So this Nerf Kevin Durant collaboration originally released in ultra limited quantities, and it came with this cool package that had like this Nerf basketball hoop on it. It was sick, and that pair would go for thousands and thousands of dollars. However, a decade later, Nike decided to retro this pair, and for whatever reason, the hype just isn't there anymore. And looking at the shoe, it's exactly the same as it was 10 years ago, except without the special packaging. I mean, it does still have a special box, but it's not like the basketball hoop box. It's just a standard Nike KD box with some cool printing on it. And sure, I get that this shoe is not as easy to rock casually in 2024 as it was in like 2011, but if you play basketball and you want to play basketball in a pair of crazy limited sneakers, or at least they were crazy limited sneakers, you can pick up this pair right now for an insane price. So the 2024 KD Nerfs released for a retail price of $150, but now, about a month after release, you can find pairs of these online for like $110. In fact, in my most recent outlet video, which you can check out by clicking the link at the top of your screen, I found this pair at the Nike outlet for not only retail, but 30% off retail. So I basically got this pair for $45 off, which is pretty much exactly what it sells for online. If you had told sneakerheads back in like 2012 that this shoe was going for under retail, people would be like, you've lost your friggin' mind. Nowadays though, no one seems to care about the KD4 Nerfs, but I still think they're a great sneaker, and if you play basketball, throw these on and everyone's gonna be like, dang. At least if they're sneakerheads. If they're not, they'll be like, why do those look like kid shoes? I'm just being honest. Number 5, the Nike Kobe 8 Protro Team Bank colorways. So this shoe, I guess, could have been an honorable mention because it's not really going for that much under retail right now, and not even in all the colorways. In fact, this black colorway I think is pretty much hovering at around retail or slightly above, but there are certain colorways in this Team Bank pack that are going for less than retail. Specifically the white colorway. A lot of the sizes in the white colorway are actually going for like $175. Now retail for every shoe in this pack was $180, so you're really only saving like $5, but still, if you've been looking for a pair of Kobe's to ball in, not a bad time to grab them. While the Team Bank pack might be a little bit simple, there are a couple really great colorways that probably match your basketball team's colors that you can grab for around retail or slightly below. Plus, the Kobe 8 Protro is a really great update on the original Kobe 8. It features a new Nike React drop-in insole, which is really soft. I think we talked about the Venice Beach colorway in the previous video. That one, again, same sort of deal where it's like hovering around retail. Kobe's are never really going to be that much under retail, at least not right now, possibly in the future if they keep dropping a bunch of packs like this. However, if you want to grab a great pair of Kobe 8s to play basketball in, or just a simple pair of Kobe 8s, now is a good time to do it because you might even be able to find pairs at your local Foot Locker for retail right now. Because in some Foot Lockers, they are sitting. Like my local Foot Locker, there's been a couple pairs sitting in a bunch of different colorways and different sizes. So they're not impossible to find. And if you want to grab a pair for slightly under retail online, you can. Because these shoes were relatively mass produced in terms of Kobe mass production. I think the black colorway is the most popular by a pretty large margin, and that's why it's not going for under retail. But all of the colorways are solid. If you like Kobe 8s, even the black colorway is not really going for much over retail. In fact, I think I grabbed this pair from Dick's Sporting Goods like 2 days after they released for retail. Number 4, the Nike Dunk Low Panda. So this shoe is so widely available that everyone for some reason decided to hate it, when I actually think it's a genuinely very clean and very wearable sneaker. Back in 2020, this shoe was going for like $300 to $400 depending on size, just because of how popular it was. And at the time, there wasn't a lot of pairs available. But now in 2024, Nike has mass produced this shoe to the point where this shoe is not only widely available at your local Foot Lockers, but is also available in the Nike outlets and online for significantly cheaper than retail. So the retail price of the Nike Dunk Low Pandas is $115, but you can actually grab pairs right now on StockX for $78. I get it, people are sick of seeing this shoe. I totally understand that. And yes, everyone has this shoe, but if you don't and you want to get it because it's a great everyday sneaker, you can get it for so cheap. $35 under retail cheap, which is insane. This is another one of those shoes that I think is a really good Vans alternative. The black and white is super easy to rock. It's a pair of dunks. It just looks good on feet. And although it's not like the most comfortable shoe in the world, it gets the job done. You can wear it all day and you'll be fine. I wouldn't like run a marathon in these or even play basketball in these, but you know, if you're just walking around the office or school or work or wherever, you can rock this shoe no problem. And I mean, every size of this shoe is around 78 bucks. Some sizes are 82, some sizes are 81, but generally $80 is around what you're gonna pay for this shoe online, and I think that's an amazing price. And seriously, if you wanna grab this shoe, link through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. Apothecary, my sock brand, is actually dropping a pair of socks that's gonna match this shoe perfectly. So if you're interested in that, follow us on Instagram at Apothecary, because we'll be announcing it there whenever we drop it. Of course, Apothecary also has a bunch of other socks available. If you wanna grab them, you can grab them through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen or through our website, apothecary.com, in tons of different styles and colors. They all match your sneakers and they're all incredibly comfortable. More so than this shoe, which will make the shoe more comfortable if you're wearing a pair of Apothecary socks. So maybe grab a pair to match this, I don't know. But yeah, Panda Dunks are awesome. They're a staple in my opinion, and for 80 bucks, it's hard to say no. Especially when the resale prices were as high as they were back in the day. So I don't know. If you want to grab a pair of these, now is the time. Number 3, the Air Jordan 3 Green Glow. This shoe is essentially a Black Cement 3. I mean, it's almost exactly the same. There are some minor differences, but from a distance, it's hard to tell the difference. Obviously, the namesake of this sneaker is Green Glow, and that's because there's green accents throughout the shoe, like on the lace eyelets, on the tongue of the sneaker, and behind the tongue of the sneaker, as well as on the heel of the shoe. But the upper of the shoe comes in black leather, like the Black Cement 3s. The elephant print of the shoe is essentially the same color. You do have elephant print here on the midfoot, which is not exactly the same as the Black Cement 3s, but it's not that different. And even if you're not comparing this to the Black Cement 3s, I do think it's a pretty clean colorway. You've got suede hits on the tongue, suede hits around the ankle. It's just a clean, very wearable pair of Air Jordan 3s. And even these green hits, I don't mind them. It's not my first choice when it comes to colors on Air Jordan sneakers, but it's really not bad. So you can actually grab this shoe right now for around $130 online, which is really cheap considering the fact that this shoe retailed for $200 when it first dropped. And also Air Jordan 3s are still a really good Jordan model. Like the Air Jordan 1's my favorite, then it's the Air Jordan 3, then it's the Air Jordan 4. I know these aren't as popular as the Air Jordan 4s, but still, this is a great looking silhouette. The colorway is clean, and for 130 bucks, I mean, that's great. That's $70 off at retail. I actually grabbed this pair at the Nike outlet in my last video for like 150 something, but if you buy these online, 135 bucks, I think for my size is what it is. That's a no-brainer. That's really a no-brainer. Even if you're only wearing this shoe like a couple times a week or a couple times a month, $135, tough to say no to. And seriously, the suede used on this shoe is better than I would have expected. Like they have this little paper thing here to keep the suede from getting, I guess, crushed when the shoe is in the box. I don't know, it's a nice sneaker. The build quality is decent. It's clean. It's really clean. It's not only one of the best deals on the list, but it's also one of the best looking sneakers on the list. I definitely recommend checking this shoe out if you want a pair of 3s. Number 2, the Air Jordan 1 Midnight Navy. So this shoe literally just released. We have a lot of shoes like that on the list, but this shoe literally did just release. And like some of the shoes that we've talked about in previous top 10 below retail videos, this shoe was going for under retail before it even dropped. And what's wild is that this Midnight Navy colorway essentially is a Chicago colorway, except instead of red, you've got dark blue, and it looks very clean. It's very similar to the Storm Blues that dropped, what, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and those go for so much money now, or they used to. I guess it's not that crazy that the shoe is going for under retail, but what's craziest to me is how under retail the shoe is going. This shoe, currently online, you can grab between $110 and $130 for a $180 retail pair of shoes. And I feel like I need to say this again just to hammer the point home. This shoe literally just dropped. Like literally just dropped. And you can grab it for $110. Like what is that? That's crazy. I genuinely love the way this sneaker looks. I need to pick up a pair for myself. I'm going to through the resale market because I don't want to spend retail on it at the Nike outlet or wherever it ends up being. I just want to grab it online because even with fees and even with shipping, even if they're crazy expensive, the shoe is still going to be under retail. And I don't know, it's just an easy shoe to rock. It just looks good. It looks really, really good, and I don't understand why people are not all about this shoe. Number 1, the Nike SB Dunk Low Chameleon. So it wasn't too long ago that not only were Nike SBs in every colorway selling out, but also reselling for a decent amount more than what they actually sold for. And even more recently, every collaboration pair of Nike SB Dunk Lows were guaranteed to sell out. But over the last couple months, Nike SB Dunk Lows, even if they are collaborations, have just not been moving like that. I might have said this in my last video, but I walked past a skate store in Center City about a month ago, and I saw 5 recent released Nike SB Dunk colorways just sitting in the store. But the shoe that I'm covering specifically in the number 1 spot is the Nike SB Dunk Low Chameleon. This is Alexis Sablone's collaboration. She's a skateboarder, and it's actually one of the coolest Nike SB Dunk Lows to drop all year. Now yes, this shoe did technically sell out when it first released. I mean, it sold out pretty quickly, But you can now grab pairs online of this pair for under retail in pretty much every single size. So the retail price of this shoe was $135, but you can find pairs on StockX right now for around $120. And sure, that might only be a $15 discount, but when you think about the fact that this is a collaboration Nike SB Dunk Low, that's wild. And this isn't just your average collab Nike SB Dunk Low. This collab is actually really fire. Not only is it a dope colorway, and not only does it have this really cool, like, I guess chameleon texture on the outside, but when you wear this shoe down through skateboarding or just wearing it, it actually reveals this really clean purple suede. It's such a dope design. This is actually my wife's pair. I found it at the Nike outlet, coincidentally. A lot of the pairs in today's video I actually found at the Nike outlet. That's how available they are. But I did go back and look up the price because I wanted to see if I could grab a pair for myself. And it's 120 bucks. I bought this pair for I think 80 because I found it on the back wall for like 30% off. But that just goes to show that you can find these pairs, which sold out when they released, for well under retail both online and in Nike outlets. I mean, they're not easy to find at the Nike outlet. This was probably a return, but you can find them there. I mean, I did. I just genuinely like this shoe a lot. I like the colorway. I like the design of the shoe. I like the fact that it's a Nike SB Dunk Low. I love the fact that the accents wear off. I just think it's so cool. It's so well done. And in my opinion, this is really a sneaker collector's shoe. Like, a lot of the shoes on this list are sneaker collector's shoes, but this one in particular is one that's kind of like if you know, you know sort of thing, which I think a lot of sneaker collectors really like about sneaker collecting. So I don't know. I think this shoe is fire. I'm absolutely planning to grab a pair for myself to match with my wife just because we do that. Apparently. And the fact that I can grab these for under retail, I mean, shoot, that makes it a no-brainer. But that pretty much wraps up the list for today. If you guys want to check out the previous top 10 below retail videos, they should be linked somewhere on your screen. I'm not sure exactly where. And if you guys want to grab any of the shoes mentioned in today's video, they're linked through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen, so make sure to check them out. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.